Well, hey guys, it's Thorzax here, and I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. One of the things that I've been doing to keep myself busy here is I've been kind of, going down the path, okay, to discover the journey, all right? There are certain things about reloading that, we've heard about, we know what tools are involved to, go ahead and have to get in order to do this. That sort of thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to, absorb the experience of this and just kind of take you along with. And what it is that I've got a whole bunch of this GP11 brass. This is for the 75x55. And as you can see, it's Berdan primed. Okay. Now, one thing I will say, I'm not the authority on this. Okay. Now, if you haven't tuned in on his channel, I'm going to give a big shout out to Lencac. Okay, that's Lencac, and you go and see him on his channel. He's the closest thing, as I feel, as an authority on all subjects about the K31. He has really done his research, and the guy really knows what he's talking about. He's helped me tremendously, through messages, and I've asked him different questions, and he's always been gracious to respond, and he's just a great guy. I mean, he really is, and he's knowledgeable, and he's got a mechanical mind. He understands what he's doing, and he doesn't give out advice to people that is, his opinion or whatever. He's trialed and erred this stuff. So, at any rate, excuse me, what I've done is I've got some Tulo 762 large primers. These are Berdan Primers, non-corrosive. And what I've done is I've begun to reprime my brass and resize it. And all you need to do is just take the decapping pin, out of your die set, and then just go ahead and resize it. It's brass. I mean, this is perfectly good. I kind of look at it this way: if I've got 100 pieces of this brass, and I get 4 shots a piece out of them, and that's 400 rounds. That it translates into. I mean, how can you argue with that? I've heard people get up to about 6 shots with this, GP11 brass. I look at it this way: if I get 4 pieces of brass, or 4 shots out of a piece of brass, then I'm good. It's kind of paid for itself. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to you a little bit of the frustration that goes into decapping Berdan priming. Okay, you have to. There's a little digger right there. Okay, a little point right there, and it's at an angle. Okay, and that angle has to face towards the rim of the case in order for it to get down into the primer. And what this does is it actually pierces the primer, or it creates a divot enough so where you can pry the primer out, and the primer will just come right out. There's a better way of doing it rather than using this goofy little holder that they send you. This thing here it moves around. I mean, not exactly a precision fit. Also, Lencac has another video showing how you can do a reverse die. You just take your die and stick it upside down in there, and then this will hold, the die will hold it on in your press, and you can go ahead and decap, and it won't move on you. Very inventive. I think you got that from another viewer, but anyway, he's demonstrated it on his video, so I'm going to give him the credit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get in here. All right. Let's see if I can demonstrate this without screwing it too much up. But you want to get this hook, okay, self-explanatory. You want to get the hook underneath the rim of the case, okay? And then what you want to do is you usually just go ahead and center that, you know, you just kind of center that pin right there, you know, on the indent in the primer, you know, from the firing pin. Sorry about my video work. I'm trying to concentrate on this thing. And it might take you a couple of times, but you can get this primer out without any real problems. So here we go. Okay, there you go. Now, what you want to do is you also want to take a take a pair of calipers, and with the depth setting, you want to check the depth on that and make sure that you didn't flatten that out. Okay, and I can't exactly remember how many thousandths they were averaging out to. So far, I haven't screwed any of them up, but you just want to make sure that these are even. Let's try this next one here. Like I said, I'll demonstrate it again. What you want to do is get the edge. You get the edge of that. You get the edge of that, and you get in there, and there you go. Now it comes, just like that. Once you get the hang of this, it's not hard. I mean, you know, I wish there was an easier way, but you know what? Reloading's supposed to be fun, you know, and you can try different things. See, here we go. Okay, we're in there, and let's see if I can. Okay, see how that is? All right, and see how I popped that right out? That's what you want to do. All right, I'll go ahead and I'll get these resized, and I'll go ahead and I'll cut the cases to length. Which, by the way, the Hornady manual has an overall length, trim to length, which is incorrect on the 75x55, and I wanted to go ahead and make sure I address that. Let me see if I can find it here. I should have had this page already. Anyway, the overall length that they're giving is too short. Yeah, see, maximum case length is, well, it looks like they corrected it in this manual. This is the cartridge book hand loading. I think this is like the 7th edition, yeah. But they had that as case trim length was 2.130 in one of their older manuals, and that was incorrect. Right here it says 1.279, and the max case length is 1.289. So anyway, I wanted to point that out to you. If you have one of the older manuals, you want to check that and check it off one of the other manuals that you have, and that should give the correct amount. But anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll get these, go ahead and get them resized, and whole 9 yards. And as far as resizing, if you guys don't have any of this stuff yet, you haven't been reloading that long. This stuff works spooky. I mean, it really leaves a slick surface for your dies, and it's the Redding Imperial sizing die wax. This is excellent stuff. It's well worth what you pay for it, and it only takes a little bit on your fingers, and you just go ahead and wipe it up and down on the case. Put a little bit there, around the mouth of the opening of the case, in the case neck, and that keeps everything moving smoothly. I've never had a stuck case with this, never. Another good product out there is the Hornady Unique Case Lube. That stuff works excellent as well. And I take a little bit of that stuff and, you know, put it into the palm of my hand. And then what I do is I just take the cartridge cases and rub them back and forth like that. You know, I just put a little glazing of it on my hands. I don't goop it up or, you know, like a big blob of grease in there. I just kind of put a little bit on there and just like that. That's enough. You know, you put a little around the case mouth and boom, you're in. So anyway, I'll continue on with phase 2, and that will be the repriming. And then what we'll do is phase 3, we'll go ahead and select a powder charge. And I'm going to already tell you right now, I have not found anything that works better than IMR 4320. 46 grains of IMR 4320. It's excellent for the 168 all the way up to 175, 178 grain bullet. So we're going to give that a whirl, okay? That's pretty much what I got. All right? So you guys have a good day. Have a good Thanksgiving. Kick back in a nice lazy boy, you know, and get yourself a blanket over the top of you after dinner, you know, and have the game on and all that stuff, and you know, catch a good snooze afterwards. And you guys, you know, you have a real good Thanksgiving. We live in a wonderful country, you know. We do. We live in a wonderful country. There's problems in our country. However, you know, we address that as Americans. And, you know, I was, you know, just recently on some forums, for instance, and, you know, like up in Canada, you have to have a gun license in order to buy guns, and you have to have a gun license to buy reloading equipment or reloading, well, not equipment, but reloading components and things like that. And it's a controlled thing, you know? I mean, it really is. It's a controlled thing in the provinces of Canada. And I mean, there's a lot of people up there in Canada, they're just like you and me. I mean, you know, they're the guys that reload and they just love this, you know? And those people up there in Canada are fighting to try to get support to get rights like we have here in the States. This is why it's important that, you know, whether you agree or disagree, I don't want to make any political subjects here, and please, don't get me wrong. The biggest voice that we have, and we have to be responsible, okay, is the NRA. Now, you may not agree. I don't always agree with everything that the NRA does. However, you know, we need to tell those people, hey, this is what's important to us. And we need to put the proper leadership there and vote responsibly when we vote in the board members and that sort of thing in the NRA. And it really is up to us to send the message. You know, they're just a voice for us. And if we don't tell them, then they're, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Whose fault is that? So we got to stay on top of the people we put in leadership, right? Is that correct? You know, that's the way we work here in the, you know, in the United States. I mean, we're supposed to, you know, hold people accountable. And, you know, in our government or in our local government, police departments, fire departments, whatever. I mean, anybody who's elected in there in the public, you know, interest, you know, and especially in organizations, you know, in Washington, D.C., we need to keep our you know, our leadership, you know, in tune with what's going on with us and what we expect of them. So anyway, that's my whole state on the whole thing. I mean, anyway, like I said, we have a lot to be thankful for here in the United States, but we also have to be responsible as citizens. You know, we just can't just, you know, be fat, dumb, and happy. So anyway, I'll let you guys get back to your Thanksgiving, and you know what? There's plenty of things to be thankful for, family, friends, you know, blessings that, you know, I've gotten a lot of blessings this year that I'm thankful for. Just, you know, the list can go on and on and on. So anyway, this is Thor's Axe, and I'll be checking back in. This will be part of a series. This is part 1 of the decapping, and then we'll go ahead and get into the whole thing. I'm going to skip the whole resizing thing and the cutting of the cases. So the next thing you'll be seeing is powder charging. Okay? So this is Thor's Axe, and I'll check you guys later.